Hi, I'm Quinn, and this is Open Awareness Yoga, and we're doing a kind of full body stretch and opening today. And so you need the normal props, a strap or a tie or your alternative, 2 blocks or 2 sturdy hardback books, and a towel or a blanket that is folded high enough that you can comfortably sit up on it towards the end of class. And so we'll go ahead and get started. So you'll lay down in shavasana, just on your back. I'll show you what that looks like. Make sure your props are within reaching distance, but they don't need to be on your mat. So you'll just lie down on the floor. Legs in any comfortable position, whether that's feet on the floor or legs long. But do let them be wider than the hips. And if your legs are long, let the toes fall away from one another. Get yourself comfortable. And just notice the sensation of your body in contact with the earth. We'll do a bit of a body scan together. So starting from your toes, just notice the toes on the right and left foot. And now bring your awareness up to your ankles. And notice the ankles. Moving up joint by joint, bring your awareness to your knees. Notice your knees. For anyone just joining, we're in shavasana, laying on your back, body scan. And now where the thigh bone enters the hip socket, notice your hips. And now travel along the full length of your spine, all the way up through the neck. And now bring your awareness all the way down to your fingers and your wrists, elbows. And there's 2 shoulder joints. The first shoulder joint is where the upper arm bone enters the shoulder socket. Notice that location in your body. And the other shoulder joint are where your scapula or your shoulder blades touch the ribs. So notice the shoulder blades. And then tune into your breathing. And breathing in and out through your nose. When you're ready on an inhale, bend your knees and place your feet flat on the floor, about hips width distance apart. And have your feet feel even on the mat so that your toes and heels feel like there's an even amount of weight. So you might have to scoot the feet further away from the bum or closer to the bum, but explore with that sensation. The arms can still lay resting at the sides of the body, palms face up or down. Relax your upper body completely. As the back of the head is heavy, your neck and throat are soft, and those shoulder blades are heavy on the earth. And then with your focus just on the low back, we'll start with some pelvic tilting. It's not a very big movement. As you exhale, you'll flatten your low back down to the ground, so the tailbone curls up slightly away from the floor. It's really a very small movement. And as you inhale, you release that, and maybe even exaggerate a little curve in the back. It's like a little mouse hole underneath you. And continue with your breath, exhaling to flatten the low back. Tailbone lifts. Inhaling to release, and the tailbone drops down between the heels. Here we're just exploring with the, flexion and extension of your spine, specifically the lumbar spine. When you're inhaling, making that arch, the little mouse hole, that's extension of the spine like a back bend would be. And as you're exhaling and pressing the low back flat, that's flexion of the spine, and it's a lengthening of the low back. And then find a place that feels neutral, like you're about halfway between the two extremes you've been exploring with. And we'll move the hips in another direction. So this time, bring your awareness to your right side hip. And then lift your right side hip up towards your right armpit. So it's really just moving along the floor. And you'll feel that the right side waist gets shorter and the left side waist gets longer. And then release that down. So it's like hiking the hips. On an exhale breath, hike that right hip up towards the right armpit, so both buttocks stay flat on the floor. And as you inhale, release. Just notice what it feels like, where you're feeling muscles activate as you continue to exhale and hike the right hip and inhale to release. We'll do that side one more time. And then change sides. So you'll inhale to release, and now left hip. Exhale, hike it up towards the left armpit. Inhale, release. Continue with that. So as we're working together in class today, we are trying to move the body in every range of motion that it's got. So one more time here, lifting the left side hip, and then finding a place of neutral. And now we've got hip rotation. So this time, you'll actually lift the right side hip up into the sky so that there's a diagonal on the top of the hips from right to left, heading down towards the floor. And then bring that right side hip down. Stay on the right side, exhale to lift the hip. So we're rotating the hips now. Inhale to release. Exhale, lift. Left hip stays on the ground the whole time. Inhale, release. Exhale, lift. Inhale, release. Second side, left hip lifts up and releases down. Lifts up, releases down. You might notice there are small muscles starting to work for you here. Just one more time. And release. Pull your knees into your chest, give yourself a hug. And then place the feet back on the floor. So to protect the low back, in front of your face, connect your thumb and your index fingers of both hands. So you're making a triangle shape with your hands. And then split your hands and bring that same shape underneath your buttocks so that your sacrum lands right in the triangle shape of your hands. You'll feel one of your butt cheeks on one hand, the other on the second butt cheek. And now bring the feet straight up to the sky. Legs as straight as possible, feet over the hips if possible. So this is already a lot of work in the body, finding this 90-degree angle. Look at your ankles. Can you point your feet like a ballerina might, toes up to the sky, and then notice that the top of your ankle is long. It's open, right? So keep the top of the ankle as it is, but just pull the toes back towards the face. So you're pointing at the ankle, but flexing at the toes. It's like a Barbie doll foot. Now inhale here. And as you exhale, lower the right leg forward and down to a hover. Stay. Inhale. Exhale. And slowly inhale, bring that right leg back up. Second side, inhale to prepare. Exhale, left leg lowers down to a hover. Try to keep both legs as straight as possible. Take a full breath when you've reached your hover. And you'll inhale to bring the left leg back up. One more time, both sides. Exhale, lower right leg down. Full breath cycle. And the following inhale, you lift the right leg up. Try not to boomerang or use any momentum. It'll be harder. Left leg down. Full breath. And then bring that left leg back up. Keep your hands where they are if they're comfortable, but bend the knees. Rest the legs for a moment. Rock your head side to side. And bring the nose back to the sky and lengthen the legs back up to the sky as well. Find that Barbie foot, point through the ankle, pull back with the toes. Inhale here. Exhale, lower your legs 1/3 of the way down. You can do this with bent knees as well. That will make it more bearable. Inhale. Exhale, lower the legs 2/3 of the way down. I'm shaking and quaking. Inhale. Exhale, lower the legs to a hover. Inhale. And exhale slowly with control. Bring them all the way back up. So if that was awful for you or you felt any strain in your low back, bend your knees. And you'll do the same thing, 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, and back up. If your legs are straight, good for you. Inhale. Exhale, lower 1/3. Inhale. Exhale, lower 2/3. Inhale. Exhale, lower 3/3. Add a little hover. And slowly lift the legs back up. Bend your knees, bring your hands out from underneath you and hug the knees into the chest. Now either roll to one side or take a few rock and rolls to come up to your hands and knees. If you've got sore knees, you might take your blanket or your towel and place it underneath your knees. Spread the palms wide underneath shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and then point back through the tops of the feet just as you had them in the air. A few rounds of cat-cow. Inhale to drop your belly, lift your heart and lift your hips. Exhale, tuck the tail, round the spine to the sky and tuck your chin. With your own breath, inhaling into your cow pose. Exhaling into your cat pose. And kind of tie this experience with your pelvic tilting from the very beginning, noticing the back bending shape called extension, and noticing the flexion shape in the Halloween cat. And come back to a neutral spine, hands and knees. We'll open up through the wrist joints. So flip the left palm upside down. So the palm is to the sky and the fingers point towards your knee. And if you don't feel much of anything here, you can begin to shift the hips back, but spread the fingers wide and allow a stretch in your wrist and maybe even moving up the forearm towards your elbow. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. If your hips are shifted back, bring them over the knees and then flip the left palm back over, second side. So the toes stream back towards your knee and the palm is faced up towards the sky. Stay here, shift back in your hips. Take a few breaths. Release tension that you might be holding in the body. And tune into the experience that you're having. And shifting forward to release that hand. One more wrist stretch here. Turn both hands away from each other so the fingers face the edges of your mat. And then turn them one more time. So the palm is now face down and the fingers stream back towards the knees. And here again, you might like where you are, or you might begin to shift the hips back, but try to keep the heel of the hand down on the ground. And you might play with bending your elbows. Take a few deep breaths in and out smoothly. And then bring your weight forward, and one hand at a time. Turn them out again, and then back to their original position. Now pressing your weight down into your right hand, inhale to lift your left arm up to the sky, open your chest to the left. And we'll flow through this a couple of times. So breathe in to prepare. As you breathe out, you'll stream that left arm underneath the right, but don't come all the way down to the ground. Inhale, bring it back up to the sky and open the chest. Exhale, weave the arm, looking over your right shoulder. Inhale, left hand comes back up to the sky, open it up. Exhale, take this little twist, look over the right shoulder. Inhale, back up to the starting position. And this time we stay. Exhale, weave the right arm under, and then the left arm under, excuse me, and then bring the left side cheek down to the floor. Crawl your right fingertips forward and press the fingertips down into the ground to get a deeper stretch along your shoulders. Take a few deep breaths into the backside body. Enjoy this one. Now first we bring the right hand underneath the right shoulder, reversing out the way we went in. Inhale, bring the left arm straight up to the sky, look up. Exhale, left hand down to the ground. Second side. Inhale, right arm lifts up to the sky, open the chest to the right. And we take this dynamically a few times. As you exhale, weave the right arm underneath the left, reach it through. Inhale, unwind, right arm up to the sky. Exhale, take the twist, reaching your right fingertips to the left. Inhale, up to the sky. Exhale, twisting under. Last time, inhale, open it up. And exhale, twist it under and come down to the ground. So right cheek comes down to the ground, right outer shoulder. Crawl the left fingertips forward. Come up onto the fingertips and press down and forward to deepen the stretch. And smooth out your breathing. Enjoy your practice. Bring the left palm underneath the left shoulder, reversing out. Inhale, lift the right arm to the sky, open the chest. Exhale, come back to tabletop, hands and knees. Now, heart melting pose. You'll crawl your hands forward a little bit wider than the shoulders and bring your forehead down to the floor. Release your chest down and back towards your thighs. Press down into the palms of your hands. And lift the forearms. And wrap the tricep side of your arm down towards the ground. Deep breaths. Allow your heart to melt down and back. And for some of my more flexible friends, it might feel comfortable for you to look forward and place your chin on the ground, or even bring your chest forward to the ground. It's not something that I can do. But as long as you feel good, explore what your body wants right now. If you feel any numbness or tingling in your shoulders, walk your hands further apart. This one's called heart melting pose. Some people also call it puppy dog. And to come out of it, lift back up onto hands and knees. We've done this next one, broken toe pose, a few weeks back. Curl your toes under, and then reach back one hand at a time, and try to get the toes spread apart, and even the pinky toe on the ground. For me, that's almost impossible, but I try. Do that for both feet, so you're spreading the toes and the metatarsals, that's the next joint, the ball of the foot. And you might already feel something here, maybe not yet. If you don't feel much, go ahead and sit your hips back down onto your heels. And to deepen this, everything's optional. Crawl the hands closer to the knees or even stack the hands on the legs. And for those of you with very open feet already, you can bring the hands to the head. So we're just adding a little bit more weight down with gravity onto the feet. Deep breaths. Let the bottom of the feet open, working with the toes, toe joints. If this is unbearable, you can come out sooner. Perhaps it's a ripe time to recognize reactions. And we'll all come out. So bring your hands down to the ground in front of you. Point back with your feet and tap, tap, tap them down on the ground. So if you're all right, you'll walk the knees and feet together and sit directly back on your heels. Reach back with your hands and try to bring the heels together and sit down on them. For a lot of people, this doesn't work. And then you'll take your books and place them between your legs and sit down on them with the feet on either side. So this might work better for your body, and if it doesn't work on your knees, just skip it. So here we're going for some opening in the top of the foot. You might not feel much of anything here. If that's you, you bring your hands behind you, and you can start to lift your knees up off of the ground. Now be careful, because we don't want to stress any of the ligaments on the outer foot or inner foot. And that's why we try to get those heels to come together so that the very top of the foot is down on the ground. And for those of you that are like, this is still nothing for me, you can bring the hands to the knees and bring the knees up a little bit higher, which is also an abdominal exercise, balance. And then come to sitting back up. Come back to your hands and knees. If you use the books, set them off to the side and find a plank pose, which should feel really good after all of that footwork actually. And rock forward and back, pressing into your heels and then pushing into your toes to notice what's going on in the feet. Then find just a moment in plank with the heels stacked directly over the toes. Press down through the hands, draw the shoulder blades away from the spine and reach your top sternum forward. Lift your low front hip points up towards the front ribs. Inhale here. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips up and back. Inhale, come back forward into plank pose. Tailbone reaches between the heels. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward into plank. Exhale, down dog. Last time, inhale forward into plank and exhale downward facing dog. At any time you can rest in a child's pose, otherwise hold your down dog. You can bend and straighten your knees a few times. Look forward at your hands. Make sure that the hands are even, the fingers are spread, and the creases of your wrists are parallel to the short side of your mat. Slight bend in the elbows. Wrap the tricep side of your arm, that's the outer upper arm, down towards the ground. The biceps will simultaneously wrap up towards the sky. Now drop the head between the arms and feel a gentle spreading of your shoulder blades away from the spine. And now let your heart melt back towards the thighs without releasing the strength that you've set around the shoulder blades. One more breath in. And exhale, walk the feet forward to the hands, forward fold. Hang your head. If you don't reach the floor here, grab your books. Make sure something's underneath your hands. You'll be using them for the next part of practice as well. Bring your hands to your outer shins. Inhale to come up halfway. Fly your arms behind you. Roll your shoulders away from the ground, so you're lifting the shoulders away from the earth. Press down into your feet to come up to standing. Now we're in Tadasana. Stay where you are. I'm moving so that the camera can see me. Feet hips width distance apart are together. Press down through the feet to lift the inner arches. Feel an engagement happen in the quadricep muscles, the tops of your thighs. Roll your shoulders back. Open your palms to the front of you. Now lift your lowest back ribs up off the back waist. Spread across your collarbones. Chin is parallel with the earth. Back of the neck is long. Find one spot to gaze at in front of you. And do not shift your gaze. You can blink. So the drishti point, it can make it easier to balance, easier to focus the mind. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Stay strong and steady in the feet and in the legs. As you inhale, sweep the arms out and up overhead so the palms face towards one another. Urdhva Hastasana. You stay here. I'm going to kneel so that the YouTube camera can see me. Exhale, bring your hands back down by the sides of the body. And then interlace your fingers. And flip the palms to the sky. Place your hands on your head. Nice. So try to get the root of the pinky fingers to touch here. Stay strong in the lower body. Inhale to lift the arms back up overhead. Go for straight elbows as best you can. Shake the head no, relax the neck. Soften the top shoulders, but straighten and lift the arms. Now look up towards your hands. Press the palms of your hands up towards the sky. So now we're opening up through the finger joints. One more breath in. And exhale, release the hands back by the side body. Look forward. We have one more side. So interlace the hands with the other index finger on top. And then place the backs of your hands on your head, palms facing up towards the sky. Try to get those pinky finger roots to touch. Press down through the feet. Nice strong legs, and as you inhale, straighten through the arms. Shake the head no, relax the neck, soften the shoulders. Look up to your hands, and then press the palms up to the sky. Open the skin of the palms. This is called Baddha Kolasana in Tadasana. One more breath in. And exhale, release the hands down by the side of the body. Inhale, bring the hands back overhead, palms face one another. Grab your right wrist with your left hand. As you breathe in, lengthen the right side of the body and exhale, side bend over to the left. Bump your hips over to the right and grow that right side of the body long. Now tune your awareness down to the left side of the body. And so that we're not over crunching into the left side of the body, can you lift the left side ribs off of the left waist? So it's more of a rainbow arc up and over a big beach ball. Deep breath in. Maybe turn to look up at the sky on the inner right arm. Right cheek touches the arm. And now inhale, come back up to center. Both arms reach overhead. Exhale, release the hands down by the side of the body. Inhale, bring them right back up. Right hand grabs left wrist. Breathe in, lift the left side body higher. Exhale, side bend to the right. Bump the hips over to the left and feel an opening through the whole left side body. Lengthen the right side waist as well. You lift the right side ribs away from the waist, even though you're compressing that side of the body. And then maybe turn to look up underneath your left arm. Deep breath. Use an inhale breath to come back up to center. Release the grasp. Exhale, bring both hands down by the side of the body. Surya Namaskar C. Inhale, lift the arms overhead, palms face one another. Exhale, fold forward. Use your books if you need them. Breathe in, come up halfway, palms on the shins. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, plant your hands and step your left foot back long behind you. Bring your left knee to the ground. Make sure that you've got a 90-degree angle in the right leg, so right knee is over the right heel. And then crawl the hands up onto the thigh. Bring your shoulders over your hips. And a breath in brings your arms overhead. Hug your outer hips in towards the midline. Lift your front hip points up off of the legs. Same thing we just did standing. Grab right or left wrist with right hand. Inhale to lengthen the left side of your body. And exhale, side bend over to the right. Keep dropping that right hip down to the ground and hugging the outer hip in towards center. Think about lengthening through the right side body, even as you open through the left side body and get a little deeper into the left psoas. So you might feel this all the way down in the left hip and quads. Inhale, come back to center, release the grasp of the hands. Exhale to frame your right foot with the hands. Curl the left toes under, lift the left knee off of the ground. Press down into your hands. Lift the shoulders off of the thigh, and then step right leg back into plank pose. Inhale here. Knees down to the ground. Exhale, lower all the way down to the earth. Point back through the feet. Inhale, cobra pose, lift the heart. Open the collarbones. Exhale, find down dog. Hips high to the sky. Inhale here. On your exhale, bring your left foot forward between the hands. And once it arrives, lower the right knee down to the ground. 90-degree angle on the left leg. Then bring the hands to the left thigh to stack your shoulders over your hips. Inhale, lift the arms overhead. Hug the outer hips in towards the midline. Lift the front hip points up towards the low ribs. And now take your left hand, grab your right wrist. Inhale to lengthen the right side of your body. Exhale, side bend over to the left. Let that left hip drop down towards the ground as a means of helping keep a length in the left side waist. One more breath in. Breathe it out. Inhale, come back up to center. Release the grasp. Exhale to plant your hands. Curl your right toes under. Lift your right knee off the ground. This side's different. Shift your weight into the left foot. And step the right foot forward to meet it. Hang in your forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold back down and in. Press down into your feet. Inhale, come all the way to standing, arms overhead. Exhale, release your hands down by the side of the body. Again, inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold down. Breathe in, come up halfway. Exhale, step your right foot back behind you. Right knee down to the ground. Inhale, bring the arms overhead, shoulders over hips. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. As you breathe in, lift your ribs off your waist. And breathe out, twist to your left. Inhale here. Feel the skin of the navel move from right to left. Obliques are on to help you twist. Press down through the left heel. Maybe open your arms, palms face in front of you. One more breath in. One more breath out. Inhale, come back, arms overhead. Exhale, bring your hands down on the inside of your left foot. Toe heel the left foot to the left side of your mat. You have options. This might be where you want to stay. You might curl the right toes under and lift the right knee off the ground, working in a runner's lunge. And it can feel nice to rock back and forth as we did in the first plank. Knee up or knee down, you might choose to lower one of your elbows down to the ground or maybe both of your elbows. Or you can grab your blocks to place them underneath your hands or underneath your elbows. Breathe in here. Breathe out here. Opening the hips deeply. Let the head hang. If you're on your elbows, go ahead and come back up onto your palms. Here's a challenge for everybody. Lift your back knee off the ground. Press down into the palms. Spread your shoulder blades away from the spine. Reach your top sternum forward. Feel your low belly hugging in towards the spine. And now lift your left toes off the ground. Left knee's on the outer tricep. Step it back, plank pose. Knees come down to the ground. Inhale, sternum still reaches forward. Belly hugs all the way down. Exhale, lower all the way down. Point back through your feet. Inhale, cobra pose. Lift your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot comes forward between the hands. And when it gets there, bring your left knee down to the ground. Breathe in, come up to your lunge. Breathe out, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale to lift the ribs off the waist. Exhale, twist to your right. Really feel that navel twisting and revolving here. Maybe open your arms, palms face in front of you. Keep hugging those outer hips in so your hips are stable and the rotation is coming from your spine. Inhale, come back to center, arms overhead. Exhale, lower your hands on the inside of the right foot. Toe heel the right foot out to the right. And you know what's happening now. So you've got those options. Stay just like this. Maybe lower down to your elbows from here. Maybe curl the back toes under, lift the knee. And always you have an option of finding some movement. So pressing back and forth. Whenever you find a place you'd like to stay for a few breaths, let your head hang. And just breathe into the tension. Softening where you can. Allowing this to feel good. Now make your way back up onto your hands. Everybody curl the back toes under and lift the knee off the ground. Press down into your hands, they're shoulder width distance apart. Shoulder blades move away from the spine, top sternum reaches forward, engage your belly. Now hover the right foot off of the ground, knee on your outer tricep. Step it back, plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, walk your feet forward to your hands. Uttanasana, forward fold. Hang out here. Grab opposite elbows if you'd like to ragdoll. Shake your head no. Shake your head yes. Release your hands. Inhale to come up halfway, hands on books or shins. Exhale, fold back down. Press down to come up. Inhale all the way up, arms overhead. Exhale, release your hands to your heart. So grab your books. If you're using yoga blocks, we'll all stand in the middle of the mat, facing the long side of the mat, and then step wide, feet very wide. If you're using blocks, you can just stack them behind your heels, and maybe some books will hang out by themselves. Otherwise, you'll just hold your right book in your hands, and we'll set the legs first. So from deep within this right hip socket, turn the right leg out, angle the left toes in. Take a peek at the right knee. It should be pointing up to the sky, not towards the left. Inhale, and exhale, bend into the right knee. Looks like a warrior two. Right away, we'll go into a Chitta Parshvakonasana. Bring the book down to the ground behind the right heel. Open the right knee to the right as you scoop the right side buttocks underneath you. Bring the left hand to the sky, palm face forward. And now from that left arm socket, turn the tricep forward, bicep back. So the palm starts to face down towards the ground in front of you or even behind you. And now lengthen the arm over the head. Either stay here or revolve the chest more open to the left and maybe turn to look underneath that left arm. Press down into the left side foot, especially the pinky toe side of the foot. Feel a stretch along the entire left side of your body from foot to fingers. Bring the left hand back up to the sky. And inhale to come back up to your warrior two. Straighten your right leg and we'll change sides. First, parallel the feet. Then turn the entire left leg out. Angle the right toes in. Check in on that left leg. Mine always folds forward. So I really have to work from that left hip socket to have my knee facing towards the sky. Bend the left knee, tracking it over the center of the foot. Book in your left hand. Go ahead and bring the book down to the ground on the outer left foot. Press the left knee open into the arm as you scoop that left side buttocks underneath you. Bring the right hand up to the sky. Turn the palm face forward from the shoulder socket and then reach the arm straight overhead. Maybe open the chest more to the right. Turn to look up underneath the right arm. Deep breaths. Press down into the pinky toe side of the right foot. Feel length along the entire right side of the body from foot to fingertips. Breathe. Right arm back up to the sky. Inhale, come up to standing. Just parallel the feet. If you can interlace your fingers behind your back, do so. Otherwise, grab your strap, bring it behind you, and hold on to it as close as you can get your hands together. Before we go anywhere, press down into the outer edges of the feet. Press down into the mound of the big toe. Seem like two different things, but you'll feel it activating through your ankles. Feel your inner thighs moving away from one another. You'll feel it activating through your outer hips. Now inhale to lift your heart. Legs stay strong. As you exhale, fold forward. Letting your arms fall overhead. Release your head to hang. Shake it now. Prasarita Padottanasana C. Soften the base of your neck. Roll the shoulders back, spread across your collarbones. And then soften the shoulders to let the arms fall even further down towards the floor. Deep breaths. With control, release your hands. You can set the strap off to one side. Inhale to come up halfway. Hands to your hips, pull your elbows together behind you. Press down into the feet. Inhale to come all the way up to standing. So we're going to skip another standing pose and head straight down to the ground. So we'll sit again in Vajrasana with the heels together. And if you use the books as a modification, grab those, place them underneath your bum. If this doesn't work for you, find any comfortable seat. You can even sit in a chair. And then grab your strap, throw it over your left shoulder. Reach your right arm up into the sky. Turn the palm behind you by wrapping the outer arm forward. Left arm out to the left side of the body. Thumb moves forward and down as you flip the palm behind you. Bend the left elbow, bend the right elbow, and find that strap behind your back, or grasp your hands. Lift the lowest back ribs up, and breathe. Open the left side chest, collarbone reaches away from the sternum, and maybe that left side scapula, the inner edge, begins to flatten down towards the ribs. Again, inner edge of left side scapula draws in towards the chest, towards the ribs. Slowly release, arms out to a T. Now bring the left arm on top of the right, either hug the body or find eagle arms, crossing to bring the backs of the palms together, or crossing again at the wrists to press the palms together. If you're in eagle arms, lift the elbows up to shoulder height and press the forearms away from the face. Let that right arm hold the left arm, and the right arm lifts the left arm up a little higher. Breathe in between the shoulder blades. Inhale to release, arms back out to the side. And now bring the left arm overhead, wrap the tricep forward so the palm faces behind you, and then flip your left palm down and back. Bend your elbows and find that strap. And I do this. Should have told you to move the strap to the other shoulder. Lift the back ribs up off of the waist. Open up the right side collarbone away from the sternum. Move the inner edge of the right shoulder blade in towards the chest. Breathe. And release, arms out to a T. Now right arm on top of left, either hug the body or find your eagle arms. Elbows up to shoulder height, forearms away from the face. This time the left arm is holding the right arm. Let the right arm relax into the strength of the left arm and breathe between your shoulder blades. Use an inhale to release the arms. And we'll come into a plank pose. So set everything off to the side. You'll notice if plank feels any different with your shoulders open like this. So knees can be up or down. Let's lower the elbows down to where the hands were to come into a forearm plank. Palms either face down right in front of the elbows, or you can interlace your fingers, whatever you prefer here. Draw your shoulder blades away from the spine. Reach your top sternum forward. Now slowly lower your knees down to the ground. And be careful. Lower the hips down to the ground. Come into a Sphinx pose. Point back through the tops of the feet. Elbows are underneath shoulders. Draw the shoulder blades together behind you. Reach them down the back towards the hips and spread across your collarbones. Spread the upper chest. Check in with your low back. Reach your tailbone between your knees so you're strengthening through the abdominal core and not just letting the weight of gravity dump into your low back. Now you can either stay here if you want a physical challenge. You'll curl the toes under. You really work them underneath you. Draw the shoulder blades away from the spine. Hug the low belly away from the ground. And then come back up into forearm plank. Shoulder blades pull away from the spine. Press down through your elbows and forearms. Reach the top sternum forward. And begin to walk your feet towards your elbows. Keep looking forward. Shoulder blades spread. Reach the top sternum forward. Find a little bit of back bend in that upper back. Either stay here or lift one leg up to the sky. This is a prep for Pincha Mayurasana forearm stand. If you do forearm stand, might as well do it. But make sure that you don't have furniture in your way if you fall, because falling happens. Lower that left leg down to the ground. Reset the shoulders, press down through the forearms, spread the shoulder blades away from the spine, reach the top sternum forward. Hug the low belly and lift your other leg up. Keep the strength in the shoulders, keep reaching forward, find that little back bend. Breathe. Lower the leg down. Everybody come to rest in a child's pose. Stream the arms behind you, backs of hands on the ground by the feet. Let the shoulders slump over the legs and breathe. And bring your hands by your knees. Sit up and bring the feet in front of you. I want to do some seated poses tonight. So make sure that your blanket or your towel is nearby and your strap and your books for that matter, because we might sit on them. So we'll start with a twisting pose because we just did a back bend. So if you have tight legs, I want you to go ahead and sit on top of your towel. Bring both of your legs in front of you. Hands along the side of the body. Bring your hand underneath your right knee and bend the knee to bring the foot in as close to the sitting bone as you can get it. Bring the right fingertips behind you. If the floor feels far away, bring your book behind you with it to lift up the floor. Inhale to lift the left arm up into the sky. And exhale, twist to your right. Two options with the left arm. You can hug the right leg or tuck your elbow along the outer right knee. Here, if you're tucking the elbow, try to get the outer upper left shoulder to be in contact with the right knee. Soften the belly and revolve the navel from left to right. Maybe look behind you. Open the right collarbone away from the sternum. Activate through that left leg. That's the leg that's straight on the floor. One more deep breath. And come back to center. Fingertips by the side body, straighten both legs. Hand underneath left knee, bend that left knee and bring the foot close to the bum. Left fingertips behind you, right arm up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, twist to your left. Either hug the right knee or bring the elbow on the outer right knee and work towards that upper outer right arm in contact with the outer right knee. Soften the belly and revolve the navel from right to left. Maybe look behind you. Roll the left shoulder open, collarbone away from sternum. Activate through your right leg. And come back to center. Straighten both of your legs out for a moment. Hands along the side of your hips. Lift the back ribs off the waist. Soften the shoulders down. Dandasana. Nice. And now open the legs wide into a straddle. It doesn't have to be the widest straddle you've ever had. Take both of your books or one of your blocks and set them on the inside of the right knee. Now we'll take your strap and you'll loop it over the right foot. Okay, right at the ball of the foot. And here's some fancy mat work. I'm going to scoot over so that the Instagram screen can see my foot. So you'll take the strap and cross it twice. Okay, so you just cross it over itself twice. And then hold it in that cross shape with your right hand. And then you turn your chest over to the left. So you begin to revolve away from the strap. Bring the right side of your chest or right side of your torso down towards the right leg and place your elbow on top of your books. You might not need your books if you notice that the elbow can go down to the floor. Now take your left hand, lift it up and overhead, and grab the top strap. Walk both of your hands as far down the strap as you can get them. Some of you might be able to grab your feet. Now here we press down through both sitting bones. Revolve the chest open to the left. That's navel from right to left. And then look underneath that left arm if it's okay on your neck. Now hold both sides of the strap in your right hand, left hand straight up to the sky, and then lift up through that left hand to come to seated. We have a second side. So loop the strap around your left foot, move your books or block over to the inner left knee. And again, that strap just crosses twice, so making 2 twists in the strap. Hold the strap in the cross in your left hand, sit up straight, and then revolve over to your right. You keep that revolution as you bring your elbow down towards the ground or the books, and then bring your right arm overhead to grab the top strap. Curl the hands as far down the strap towards the feet as possible. Revolve the chest open to the right. Navel moves from left to right. Gaze up and look underneath the right arm. Heavy through both sitting bones. Bring the right arm back up to the sky and lift up through that right arm to come up. Keep the strap handy. Come back into your Dandasana, legs together. Now turn that right leg out, grab the inner knee, and pull that right heel in towards the groin. If you've got the flexibility, open the right knee further behind you so that there's an obtuse angle or greater than 90 degrees between the 2 legs. Now loop the strap over the left foot, and this time we're going to revolve the body to the left, aiming the sternum to line up with the inner left thigh, inner left leg. Inhale here, lift the heart. Exhale, fold forward. Reach your sternum forward. So we're not rounding through the spine. We're reaching the sternum forward. We're getting a nice stretch along the low back. Probably you're feeling it in the legs too. Wherever you feel it is okay. If you can grab your feet, do so. Soften the left side of your belly. Reach the right side of the belly closer towards the left inner thigh. So it's as if you could square your torso over your left leg. I believe it can happen. I have not proved it in my own body, but I'm working towards that. And just take a few breaths here. This is Janu Shirshasana. It's my favorite pose. And to come out of this safely, inhale to lengthen the spine, and then sit the shoulders up over the hips. Be careful. You want to bring your hand underneath your right knee, lift the right knee back up to center first, and then straighten both legs out. Turn the left leg out, hold the inner left knee, and then pull the leg back, heel towards the groin. Open the left knee behind you if you decide to do so, and then loop the right foot with your strap. And before we go down, we revolve to the right, lining up your sternum with the inner right thigh. And then here, lead with your chest. Exhale to hinge at the hips and come forward, crawling your hands down the strap as far as they go, maybe holding your feet. Here we soften the right side of the belly as we reach the left side of the belly towards the inner right thigh. So that's working to square your torso over your right leg. And take a few deep breaths. These seated poses are often more challenging than the standing poses. In fact, we start teaching beginners just standing poses. So if you find that these are really difficult, it's okay, it's normal. And if you're uncomfortable and don't enjoy them, you don't have to do this part. So first, lengthening the spine, reach the sternum forward, and then sit the shoulders over the hips. To be careful with our low back, we bring our left hand underneath the knee, lift the knee into the air, and then straighten the legs. So I have bumped us up to the very end of class. You're going to be taking a shavasana mostly on your own. So come to laying down on your back and pull your knees into your chest, Apanasana. And we've come to the end of our practice, and you might decide you want a few more stretches, maybe a figure 4 stretch, right and left side. Or maybe there's something completely different you're wanting to do with your practice. This is your time. Otherwise, you'll slip yourself into your final shavasana. Feet can stay on the floor or straighten your legs. Turn your palms face up. And relax in. Shavasana is an important part of the yoga practice. It's the part where your body can really integrate all of the work that it's just done, all of the novel experience, the opening. It gives you a chance to integrate and become whole before moving off into your day. So try to stay here for at least 10 breath cycles, or 5, 10, or 15 minutes. And just a reminder, there's a yin yoga class I'll be teaching on Thursday at 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Pacific. It's got a cool soundtrack. It's free on YouTube Live. The link is in my Instagram bio, and it's already up on YouTube. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Bye.